technical difficulty. Had to suffer through an update, so we have now made it, we're back online. First up, we have our video recording disclaimer. This disclaimer is to inform all participants that this meeting conducted in person and via Zoom will be recorded for record-keeping purposes. By participating in the meeting, you consent that the recording may contain your video stream, including images of yourself, your audio stream. This includes any opinions you contribute. Anyone attending the recorded meeting may have aspects of their personal data recorded if they actively participate or not. By staying in the meeting, you consent to being recorded. By consenting and attending the meetings virtually or in person, participants also agree to recordings being posted to YouTube or other distribution services. First of all, we'd like to acknowledge the First Peoples and Traditional Territory. Armour Township is situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe. Armour Township recognizes the historical and contemporary contributions of the local First Nations and the peoples of Turtle Island. Getting going at about 7:09, a few minutes late. First up, we have 3 sets of minutes, I believe. Council of the Township of Armour approved the minutes of the zoning bylaw amendment, public and permitted uses in the M zone held on July 8th, 2025, as circulated. Dorothy and Rod. Any questions, errors, omissions? All those in favor? Carried. Council Township of Armour approved the minutes of the zoning bylaw amendment, public meeting to amend permitted uses in the CHMH zone held on July 8th, 2025, as circulated.
Sure.
Got Jerry. I'm gonna look at Wendy so we can get her on the list.
Sure.
All those in favor? We're off to the races.
Not interested in my nonsense.
Council Township of Armour, excuse me, approved the minutes of the regular council meeting held on July 8th, 2025, as circulated. Sure.
Wendy?
We got everybody on the board now. Dorothy. Okay, any errors, omissions, questions about the regular council meeting minutes? All those in favor? Carried. All right, that's the fun stuff. Do we have any declarations of pecuniary interest in general nature thereof based on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, none noted. We have 2 delegations, live and in person. First up, we have Danica, our recreation coordinator. We have a July 2025 report and the Heritage Festival summary. So over to you, Danica.
Let's just hear you guys all received it. If you had any questions, concerns, feedback, I'm here to answer. I didn't trust, good thing, I didn't trust Zoom, so. And I'm a quiet toddler, so I figured I'd come in person. I'll be attending the last meeting of every month.
Excellent.
Nothing.
Camp's going well.
Very well. Very draining, but very well. Yeah, we're constantly getting calls, availability. Most families want more than 1 kid and most things are only 1 spot available. But we booked up really fast this year. We sent it out way earlier than we normally, when we did last year. And the outpour of interest with us opening it, not just for just solid weeks,
Right.
and the individual days was huge.
So that's gone very well, the individual.
Next year going forward, we'll learn to schedule a little bit different and probably put a little bit more of a price tag to those days, not much, like $5. Because those are the days that went the quickest. And just to kind of justify, we're taking these kids out on these days, but you're still paying the same price on Tuesdays and Thursdays, most Thursdays and Fridays.
Right.
Or we're just sitting there, right? So.
Yeah. We're providing program and childcare.
Oh, absolutely, but like, we're not.
There is a
we're not
cost
those big
associated, yeah.
excursions yet. We had a glitch this week. Crooked Creek Ranch, she had put her back out, so she spent many days at a merge. So we improvised and we took the kids to Cullen Riding Ranch. Great facility, super easygoing. So they stepped up when we needed somewhere to take the kids because we were already paying for the busing.
Right.
So we just kind of improvised and it was a perfect day.
I think Codlin would be great to do at least once a summer. They have programming for kids that's incredible.
I 100% agree. And we're thinking twice a summer, 1 every month.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's very entertaining. And they have, like, did they provide the staff and programming for the kids? Yeah, it's fantastic.
to 5 days a week?
Yes.
She smiles.
Yes.
5 too many.
I'm only there 4, but 5, yes.
When's the gala this year? So
It'll be November 22nd.
Where do they do swimming lessons?
So we first had them last year, took them out to Halcyon Beach because we didn't want to do the busyness of Katrine. But there's not enough to keep us occupied and no shelter out there. Ideally, that's where we keep them, because come 11 o'clock, that beach is packed. So we then started busing them to Doe Lake, because I don't trust 30 kids to walk down Katrine or Doe Lake Road, I guess. So Jen Joyner facilitates those. And we're very fortunate this year, we have one of our students, Corbin, he's also a swim instructor. So we've been able to utilize him a little bit and let 5 kids go with him. He can look up after 30 on his own, crazy, in the water, but we allow 5 kids to go like ankle deep, but just to splash, have their fun until their next session.
So the swimming lessons, can people participate in the swimming lessons? Aren't at the,
We're looking into that for next year, but not this year.
okay,
How many kids at a time do swimming lessons?
5 to 7 with Jen. Again, she can look after 32, but I don't trust all the kids to go at once.
Well, and
She
she
does
would,
them in age groups.
yeah, it would be impossible to do level 1 to level 10 at the same time anyway.
So our swimming lessons, you never walk out with like a certificate at the end, but to watch some of those kids, especially we have a lot of CAS kids, so to watch those kids go from not have been in the water to be an extremely strong swimmer in just that quick 8 weeks is crazy.
So why are they not getting their certificates?
They're not, a lot of kids aren't there frequently enough.
Oh,
The kids that are there for 8 weeks could, but if we ran a program like what Rod's thinking, absolutely. But they're not there consistently enough to be able to give them something.
mhm.
Makes sense.
Well, like ultimately they just have to meet the requirements of that level. So
Yeah.
if they met it, they.
But I think
Wait, at
your
the
Red
end.
Cross programs are
So many hours.
so many hours and they're pretty, like, pretty
Yeah.
controlled.
Yeah, but I mean, Jen is a Red Cross instructor.
Yeah.
And it is ultimately like level 1 is float on your back 3 seconds, kick your feet for.
Yeah.
So as long as they were able to do that for her on 1 occasion, actually, I think it has to be 2. I think they have to do each thing twice and then they meet the requirements. So.
We're looking into potentially, I don't know if Jen can accommodate us. So, excuse me. But we're looking into opening up to the public. We have not even got to discussions with Dave and insurance and whatnot on that. But that's what we're hoping for next year. We reached out to Caswell's because as a parent, I see how Huntsville is for getting in. If you're not booked in by 8:01, you're SOL.
Mhm.
So we were hoping to reach out to Caswell to see if they could offer us a discount on their pool, because that's where I did my swimming lessons growing up. Haven't heard anything. The other option people had mentioned was Northridge, but again, it's outdoors, so you might as well do it in the lake. So
I would like, if you can, or I can, and we obviously this doesn't have to be a conversation now, but the Lions in Magneto has a phenomenal swim program.
Yeah.
And I think they told me the other day it's 65 years in, so I'm sure that we could potentially marry that program, or even maybe the Sunridge Lions.
Yeah.
And we could bust them to Sunridge, or we can figure it out.
Legion, when we did the swimming lessons years ago, the Legion in town were all over supporting
Yeah,
that.
they were, yeah.
we was seeing how kids swim nowadays, not very good. And the amount of drownings we have, I think swim lessons is a huge thing. And they're not expensive. Like we had booked Blakely in for the Blossom one. And I think it was $65 for 8 weeks or something, like so reasonable.
So, and then, like Magneto one is free, so if we can offer it as part of the day program, and if the Lions are willing to help foot some of the bill, or, I mean, there's lots of things we can look at, right? Huntsville. I think some of the barrier is finances and getting to Huntsville once a week, right? So if you can do it while at day camp, fantastic.
I
So
think the Legion paid for the busing when we shipped them over to Spacedale.
Yeah.
Go to the Girl Guide camp that week.
Lake?
Perfect. Yeah.
The Go Guide camp's for sale.
Yeah, $12 million.
it's not in budget.
Maybe next year.
I bet you wouldn't be doing swimming lessons.
No.
I recall you had to be organized pretty early on because the Red Cross area supervisor had to come and view your site. Interview.
I don't believe it's done.
And
So it is.
just sort of
It's
pre-approved.
no longer done by the Life Saving Society of Canada.
Yeah.
But there have been some changes to it. I don't know like the upper level facilitation anymore.
Maybe Debster used to be our rep. but
Yeah,
that's
she's
years
not
ago.
anymore, yeah.
Jen Joyner, who does ours, she runs them out of Kearney, and I think she does ones for the Sunner, what was it, Magwin lines, I believe she did it for, or no, maybe it was Sunrise lines. She did them off that little.
It was not Sunridge Lines. for sure.
Okay. So, she would have an idea of.
Yeah. The process. Yeah.
I wonder too if we could, I mean. No, this wouldn't work. I was gonna say if we could bus them to Mangatawan for theirs, but you would be there all day. Like my oldest son starts at 8 o'clock and my youngest child is at 2:30.
We wouldn't have to worry about busing because our day camp students are already, our day camp kids are already being there. Like our busing to the park is great. They're already getting the swimming lessons, but I'd like to open up a program for the public that we can register, like what Boston and Magnatowan and them do, right? The busing wouldn't be an issue. It would just be,
I meant busing ours to Mangatawan, but
we're already doing it between them.
yeah, so it works.
So, bit of a segue with all this, you're very busy, KCC. Fantastic job on the Heritage Day. And also I'd like to thank staff, all the staff that were there and all the council, because once again, our full council was there. And I think that's a big deal, but I think it was a really good event. Again, the weather was, it was hot.
It was the weather warnings that are.
Yeah, and the weather warning scared some people off, it sounds like.
I was like, just a tornado?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a lot of emails questioning if we're still running. Two of my staff members went, or do we still have to do this? Like, yes, please, please arrive. But that was our big hindrance there. And
So what, do we know what our numbers were? Did I miss that?
so I couldn't find the little clickers.
Okay.
So, no,
So if, from where I was sitting, literally, it looked like less people, but I also think the way it was organized this year, I feel like maybe we had as many people. It just wasn't as like, there wasn't as many? Okay. Oh, okay. It was well attended. But I liked the design this year. I liked how it was set up.
What I noticed, having the trailer set up where had a lot of people walking in. And then we had a lot of people walking out all day long, like it was a transition. There wasn't everybody there all at once. And I kind of think that's why it looked a little empty. And things might have been spread out a little bit too much.
we.
I think there is a few things that could be done to make it better.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Timing of things, the musician was supposed to be here and start at 11, but didn't start for some reason until 12:15. That's when our band arrived. Things like that. I have lots of things to go on about like the vendors.
Yeah.
And Rod and I will nail those all out. Moving like I said in my report, moving the hose, I can't speak, the fire.
The water sprayer, yeah.
Thank you, more to the middle of the field, but we need to figure out, well, not we. The fairgrounds need to figure out drainage of that one hole that hinders us quite a bit. But with the feedback from vendors mainly, and a few participants who went through as I was asking, and then a few of the fire department, was they liked the spread out of it because it flowed the people through the bottom of the vendors. So the people at the end of the vendors were happy that the flow of traffic still got to them, where we had a lot of people in their comment section when they registered that they didn't want to be at the tail end of it because people get halfway through and be like, oh, well, we can see that far. We don't want what's down there, where there's kind of kept the traffic in a whole loop shape.
So one thing I really noticed, having the trailer where it was, everybody had to walk a long ways. And they were on crutches, canes, walkers, or whatever. They had to go so far in order to get to the track.
20 extra feet though.
No, it was a lot longer than that, because I never seen anybody there helping one way or the other.
So we between Corbin, the one gentleman that works for me, and myself, we took the side by sides and we took a lot of people to and from their vehicles.
Okay,
Yeah.
I seen you on the side by side, but
Yeah.
I did not see anywhere where the people knew that out at the entrance. The entrance was in the wrong spot.
For, like donations.
I don't think there was anybody out in the entrance.
Yeah, Corbin and Brian Austin were in there all day.
Oh, yeah. On the
Did they
road. They
have
were on the road.
Yeah.
Did they have a walkie-talkie? Is there somebody here
We had
on
six
crutches or anything like that?
We had,
Yeah, I was unaware of that.
yep, 6 walkie-talkies between our staff, like our
Okay.
summer staff. And then that's when we would bring the side by sides. We tooted along with helmets. We tooted along down the street, and brought a lot of in the back end.
Okay,
And we had 2 vehicles, I thought just 1, but 2, I had talked to the staff yesterday morning. Come in the bottom end and asked to park in there because it was solid ground over there.
just a thought. Side by side is a little higher up. I think golf carts might be better. That way you wouldn't need a helmet.
So we found out, or Rod and I were told that, the mayor and I were told, that golf carts are $40 a day delivered from the Katrine Golf Course.
Oh, that's really good to know.
Yeah, I was like,
Rick-
$40, I'm getting one today.
Rick Woods was, that saved us a lot,
Yeah.
that donation. We had even entertained like a little tiny, like, not wagon, but we haul hay wagons with them. So just to shuttle people, if that ever got to that size, but
The golf cart, like a 4-person golf cart would be absolutely perfect, right? Easy to get it on.
Katrine don't have that.
That's what the person had, right? That was talking to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the vendors, with so many, is there any value in charging a deposit ahead of time?
so
But if they-
with so many backing out, I'll speak on this for a sec. If you don't mind. And the feedback from a few, not many, was that it's the same vendors every year. And that they find that the places that charge their vendors have better quality items at those events. That was the feedback from there. And then I think with you charging, you have some skin in it, is how I feel.
Even if they get some of it back, if they show up, because to me, it was 20 vendors that didn't show up.
23.
But there was also tornado warnings.
So on the vendors, I think we should nip vendors in the butt. They don't get to, oh, I don't like that spot, I'm going over there. They should be at a spot, and if they don't like it, they're welcome to leave. Because the vendor that didn't like a spot picked his own space out in the field. And all the vendors at that end don't like being down there because, and when Danette and I were watching, there was lots of people. Danette was standing 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going about 5 vendors from the end. Danette was standing about there, and I saw hordes of people. Didn't even get to Danette and turned around and went back. We need something at the other end of the fairgrounds that would take them down there. So from last year's complaints, whereas people didn't want to be beside a generator, we threw the food people in the
Mix.
mix them. So now there was 3 generators amongst them instead of all together. I think if we put all the food at the end of the racetrack,
That makes them have to walk. That's a really good idea. And we talked about putting the trailers, which I think mainly that they're the ones with the trailers, right? Putting them in that opening where Danette and you were standing when we had chatted.
If you do that, then you're deterring traffic and food of people away from the agricultural booth. That's why they were set up that way. To flow traffic because the booth.
I understand,
Way up there.
but we need to put something at the end of the track, because people do not, and I witnessed for
I get
an
it.
hour.
It's a
They
big
don't go
walk.
down there. I watched umpteen people. There'd be 4 people, it'd be husband and wife, and they wouldn't even make it to where Danette was standing. They just go and then go back. So I can feel for any of the vendors that were at the end, because they didn't get the traffic by there. There needs to be something at the other end. So vendors need, if they don't like their space, they should go home. I'm not one to,
It was a food vendor though.
I don't care.
I had to wake my child up at 8 o'clock at night.
All the
to
vendors,
accommodate.
all the vendors that were at that end, they did not like being at the end, and they didn't like it last year, and I witnessed it again. So,
We tried to put that popular, the one that was complaining. We tried to put them, they were 42. So that was kind of our draw because we knew everybody liked
yeah,
that one, so that was our draw. But at 7:30 on a Friday night, and I get a call.
I'll deal with,
Yeah.
I have no qualms telling somebody. Vendors don't like being beside the outhouses. So the generators and outhouses has to be strategically placed. Not with the vendors. If they have like I think we said before, we're notwithstanding, all that field should be like drive in. Anybody with a trailer should be in there. We're lucky because the amount of vendors that were canceled that we had read. I was able to slip trailers in some of those spots. And it was handy having people to know which vendors weren't showing up, and I utilized those spaces. I'm gonna make the spaces even bigger if I'm doing it next year, because we did 20+ feet. I told Dad, I said 20 feet, don't worry about if it's 21 or 22, but last year we did 8. Even 20 was tight for people if Charlene showed up and I showed up and Wendy she had a hell of a time getting her vehicle in that space without, everybody had to work together to get, so they need to be more room. I'm gonna leave more of a walking path between the two corrals. I think I'd leave that as a walking path. Still, people could park in there, but I would rib it out so there was an actual path in there. It needs to be a sign for a path, just access to vendors or sign or something.
Are you gonna send me a picture of your notes? Are you gonna send me a picture of your notes?
No,
Yeah,
it's recorded.
yes.
And then if our knows our volunteers don't make decisions, as I had a concern. I put caution tape up because of the year before the vendors did not want people walking through their vehicles because the wives leave their purses on the seat. Cars are open, everything else. So the vendors didn't want somebody coming through that. So I had caution tape up and I walked by. On the 4th time, I saw the guy pulling it down and I raised my voice. Told him to leave it alone. He said, "Oh, we just thought it was a good idea to open it." And I said, "No, it's not a good idea to open it." I said, "It's there for a reason. And if it's caution tape and you don't know why it's caution, you shouldn't be taking it down." And then it was JJ. He yelled, he said, "Hey, don't calm down. We're all here for fun." I said, "I'm not having any freaking fun tying this thing up 4 times." So I appreciate their volunteers, but don't screw around with what's already set up.
At the same time, lock your car.
They don't, but I mean,
On the backside, like behind where people are selling stuff, so all your excess.
Oh, okay.
Like they're coming up the back end of a vendor.
Okay, fair, sorry.
and most of it was behind a corral.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's 4 or 5 vendors that didn't have the availability of having something behind them.
Yeah.
So for future, there's a lot of details to figure out. So if you could share any information with Dan.
There's like I say, I'll keep this for my memory mostly just to what not to do. But to be quite honest, the number of vendors the spaces that we put out were very adequate. For the number of vendors, I wouldn't go more than that, just for people don't walk past to the far end anyway. So more vendors aren't going to be a good thing, but I mean, yeah.
The feedback I got was that people enjoyed not stepping on other people as they're walking through the vendors. They liked that there was even those spaces to tuck in and have a conversation if you've seen somebody you haven't seen in 20 years, right? They like that. But we are going forward, we're going to invite any of the volunteers to attend our Katrina Community Center meeting,
Good idea.
as opposed to having extra meetings upon.
That's a good idea.
Very good.
That'd be a good idea because a lot of people were closing up and leaving. And when it's a certain time, everybody should be there to the end of that time.
With regards to the vendors, I don't know why we would charge because we're not out anything. We don't charge, right? So if 20 people don't show up, we're not out.
Well,
And we didn't lose out on 20 people that would have rented because we don't rent, period.
it's one perspective, but the other perspective is we spent $26,000 on this.
Mhm.
And to even get $500 back, if they paid $25 each and 20 don't show up, that's $500 that would at least come back and cover something. And because if I'm waking up and it's, weather doesn't look too good and it doesn't cost me anything to bail, I'll just bail. So like 20, that's 20% of our vendors, more than 20% didn't show up.
But if we're only charging if you don't show up,
No.
$25,
Yeah.
$25 for a table, period.
If you go to another festival, and I know we're only 4 hours, but if you go to like Smoke and Spurs, you're $300 a day. So that's
Sunshine,
$25,
the Sunshine Festival,
150, I think.
it was 140, somebody told me.
what's your take, Shar?
Well, my event.
It's 100, so Sunridge charges $140 and they get 200 vendors.
You have to charge something.
I disagree. We're charging, it costs us $26,000 if we're trying to make back $500.
No, it's not,
No,
but that's,
it's more of a commitment.
it's a commitment and let's face it. So it's a bigger question here is that should we be looking at making this event more of an Almaguin-wide event and working with the other municipalities? Because we've got agricultural fairs, we've got the thing in McMurrick this weekend, and at some point, and this is all volunteer based. And the volunteers, we know the volunteers are burning out. So maybe we need to look at something a little bit different. $26,000 is a big investment,
And that's just our expenses. That's not including our staff time.
and that doesn't include staff.
That's right.
And we didn't have enough, aside from council, we had JJ and Tim Barkwell as volunteers. And I apologize if I am missing anybody, but I don't think so. I had yourself, Brian. But you're paid staff.
Well, yeah, yes and no, not really, it's just banked. I don't get paid.
You're still paid though.
Yeah, if we took it,
Different than myself.
if we did a
I don't get
timekeeping,
paid.
there's a
So I had
component to it.
Darlene, there's Brian.
That's straight time though, not like anything else.
It's still time, we're paid by the hour.
That's all, I don't get time and a half or anything, so mine's just straight time anyways. So we had 6 staff, and then we had another person volunteer, and then we also had Charlene and Brian. And then I think that was it for staff.
Last year, did you get bank time for it and bylaw?
Well, that's the way we've always got it, but usually with bank time, anything above is time and a half. This Heritage Day or Heritage Festival is only banked at straight time.
It depends on what department you are, if it's been time and a half.
Well, that's new to me, but yeah.
You need more volunteers, there's no doubt about it. Like, and then one other note was traffic control where Jerry was, like, I don't know how many times I had a car coming the wrong way. And I didn't realize the one was Harv Mulligan.
Yeah.
So we had words and then he came back and he complimented me at handling what was going on. He said, if you have any irate participants, he said, shoot them my way, we'll deal with them. But and I understand because he couldn't walk, so he was driving down to look at the vendors. I was like, well, Harv, go the way you're supposed to go. I said, all these cars are coming up this way. He said, well, I can't see on that side then.
I think next year we have a more strict, you can't enter, not strict, but like, or tell all of the vendors they have to be in by 10:15 and
Yeah.
set up by 10:15, because there are early birds that want to come at 10:30 that.
There was umpteen people. There was, I would say 50% of the vendors were there and there was people walking down, looking and walking
A
away.
lot of it was the car show people. So the car show people arrive so bloody early.
Okay.
And then they sit there and twiddle their thumbs. So a lot of them were getting up and going through the.
They go through the
vendors.
vendors. Okay, we gotta give Doug some time, so Any other questions for Danica? I know there's gonna be lots more to talk at your KCC meeting and
I like the idea of the paying a vendor instead of paying staff for the baseball tournament.
I 100% agree. There was, I mean, we still have to have somebody to do bartending.
Or we don't have a bar.
That brought in most of our money, was the alcohol itself, or we just have food, but I don't know.
How much money? I don't think we make any money on the baseball tournament. So I wonder if we need to have nothing to do with the baseball tournament. If somebody wants to run a baseball tournament, they organize it and run it.
I don't know.
The
The way when it was ran like that, it became more of a clique. I can say it that way. So
there were some issues too, though, when you're.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, leave that for the KCC discussions.
first,
So the agricultural society, the food part of it was just over 50% of last year. So that's where I see the numbers were low.
Seemed like it.
Yeah, we weren't as busy there.
Okay, thanks, Danica. Appreciate it. Appreciate all your work. Good report. You're welcome to stay till 10 o'clock if you want.
I'm gonna stay till the halftime. I've never sat in a council full
Oh.
meeting.
It's riveting.
We read the halftime show too.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we have Doug, our CBO. So we have the July 2025 report and we have the staff report on septic approvals. So Doug, over to you for commentary.
For the septic system authority, this is a follow-up from last time I spoke about it, us taking over from North Bay Mattawa. And the FEP Graydon Smith, last time we met with you guys, asked us all to do up a resolution. To say that we're ready to step forward on it. That's what this is in that summary of it. So is there any questions or doubts or anything like this?
So what I'll do, I'll read the resolution in and then if we have questions for Doug. Council Township of Armour hereby supports and directs that a formal request be submitted to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to delegate authority to the Municipal Corporation of Township of Armour under the Building Code Act for the administration and enforcement of the Ontario Building Code, specifically as it relates to sewage systems for all properties within the Township of Armour. And that council confirms the Township of Armour has fully qualified and capable municipal staff to undertake and fulfill the responsibilities of this delegated authority. Dorothy moving. Seconder.
Sure.
Jerry.
I have a question. I believe I asked this last time. Is the qualification for septic, for everything that would be included in this, standard CBO qualification?
Yes.
Okay, so
Most municipalities, unless you're farther, like you've been working for a long time in a northern municipality that's covered underneath that. Like, when you first start out, it's usually house, legal and septic. Those are your first three that you do. It is in the string of ministry qualifications that most inspectors start to get right from the beginning.
so in the event you
Yes.
retired,
You should
in
have.
35 years, it won't be an issue. Okay.
No.
So I went to the presented at the 3 Mile Lake Association meeting last weekend, I guess it was, and mentioned that you were going down this path. They were very excited about this from the lake's point of view. They think it's a great idea.
Yeah, once it all gets set through, then we can look at maybe doing like we talked before in a program, revaluation program or something. Maybe look at hiring summer students to help with that through a co-op program or whatever. I know Huntsville started taking in summer students for their co-op positions with the building department, so that might be something we can look at that way. I know that's how it was done previously when they did a huge re-inspection. It was mostly students and stuff. And then they had a checklist they had to do, and it would just be, you're looking for obvious failures or problems with the septic system. So that's one way of doing it, is getting summer students in, or co-op students, college level co-op students, so they have some understanding of what's actually going on and they're working in that type of field.
Question. So we'd be looking for approval for new systems as well as the complaints that North Bay Mattawa handle now.
Yeah, we would take it all over. It would just be part of the
So it would be the new systems as well as any
complaints.
that
Yeah,
have
it would
to
be fall under any type of building code complaint.
Do we have any stats on what North Bay Mattawa does for it in our over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, just to
No.
get a handle on the numbers.
I can get two numbers for you, though. I can reach out and get the.
Yeah, it would be nice, just to get a sense of what the volume was gonna be
Mhm.
and whether it's gonna entail
Another step.
Every brand new house.
more staff. Well,
Well, I think more staff is gonna be inevitable with growth coming through. I can see, especially working for both municipalities, I can see a need next year or the year after for at least a plans examiner. Someone who's in the office to answer the questions all the time and to review plans and stuff. And that gives me more time to do the CBO duties and the inspections. But right now, we're not quite there. We don't have enough coming in yet to justify that. But I see within 1 or 2 years that happening.
Do you know how far Perry is along with this? Like, are they going down?
The same.
So
That's what we're waiting for. We're all doing it the same. There's the 6 municipalities that are doing it. So that's what we were waiting for, because James King, who works for MVP there at Graydon Smith, he was supposed to be doing the resolution up so we'd all have the same, so we'd have the same face going forward. One of the townships jumped the gun and sent it in, and then finally Mike Wilmot and James King went over it and came up with something, and then he sent it out to the rest of us. So that's what took the time since he asked for it till now, is because we were waiting for.
Trying to get all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, so at least we're a united front, right, going forward. It looks a lot better than scattered stuff going everywhere when you're doing a code change like this. In my opinion, it would look better, but.
It's also nice, like you said before, for planning for everything, if Magwood Highlands is doing the
Yeah.
same things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it more streamlined.
So you could probably leverage resources too, right? Through with Perry, when it comes to things like inspections, if we get.
We have a shared services agreement already.
Yeah.
With Perry, with Huntsville, and Lake of Bays asked us if we wanted to join theirs as well. And it never hurts to have another municipality on there just in case. Especially since Taka, who's the CBO of Lake Bays now, lives in our township. So it's another convenience thing. I know he was redoing his and he reached out and said, do you want to be part of it? And it doesn't cost us anything to do it, right? And it's just a safety net, especially with only one person being here, right? So.
yeah, I'd be interested in seeing those stats from right
Yeah,
there.
I'll look at getting that for you.
Any other questions for Doug? So we have a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? That's carried. Thanks, Doug.
One more.
So does this mean you're gonna change the comments on your report based on what I see here or not?
No, we failed it past.
Okay.
Yeah, so based on the meeting and the questions that we had at our last council meeting, I had asked Doug to put together a bit of a report for just for council's information. And the general feelings going back through all of the comments that are on the file, and some of the stuff could be identifiable or otherwise damning. Otherwise, it could be just an added layer of work to move forward on things. So I just asked him to put together a bit of information for the council to review.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that, Doug.
No problem. Is there any questions on it?
Just wondering, maybe you need a 5th occupant? Like when it's passed, occupied or whatever. Or
At the bottom, you have
at the bottom,
your result.
failed for, or,
But no, it's still, the occupancy inspection is still a pass or fail.
okay,
Because they have certain things that they have to provide and stuff. And a lot of time with the occupancy inspection, it's failed because we're waiting on paperwork from other entities that are part of applicable law, such as ESA, North Bay Mattawa. Right now, I have to wait for a completion or
Okay.
at least a mini inspection on that. A lot of the other stuff is if it's a homeowner doing the build, sometimes they don't know what's all need to be. I try to be proactive when I'm out there and talk about the next inspection to come and what needs to be done for that. Others just think because their contractor says we're ready, that they call it, nobody ever verifies they're ready, so now it's a wasted visit kind of deal, right? Some are piecework, so that's what the inspection not complete where it'll divide up the upper floor from the basement, whatever, and we move forward that way so they can keep going, right?
Good.
So I have a question going back to the subject. I was just trying to Google, Wendy's question, but what will happen to Mattawa Conservation if,
They have lots of areas still,
okay,
lots.
okay,
And you know, that's one of the reasons too, is their staff is down. They just went through a huge staff change. A lot of their top people have been there for a while in this area are gone.
Oh.
So they're pushed to their limits too, and that's part of the reason why the fees are so high as well. But this way, it benefits our residents and it benefits us of having more flexibility within our decisions for each property we deal with.
And the way Graydon, when we had that meeting with Graydon, he said that with Huntsville already doing theirs and then moving it just north of Huntsville, so just kind of realigning their jurisdiction. That's,
Yeah, because we're almost in a straight line across the southern border of Perry Sound District. So it just moves their line up a bit and they still have, they have the septic department, plus they have all their conservation duties as well. So they have, it's not gonna hinder them at all. Anything, it should benefit them to be able to be more efficient in the other townships they have.
they won't have to read so many zoning bylaws.
They don't read those.
They don't like zoning.
I could not find the information easily.
No, I'll make a call tomorrow. It's the numbers for you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Doug.
Very welcome.
Appreciate it. You're welcome to stay around if you like.
I'll be at home.
Any other dog?
You can always zoom in.
Looks like a quiet date night for myself, though.
I'll get back to one.
See you later.
Good next time.
Okay, next up, we have 1 consent application, 3 site plan applications. Council Township of Armour hereby support the severance applications BO 32-25 and BO 33-25, part lot 22, concession 10. Plan M 632, lot 10, 123 East Nicolia Drive, submitted by Richard Hodge, subject to the following conditions. Applicant convey the required cash in lieu of parkland dedication to the Township of Armour. That should consent approval for the retained parcel be requested by the applicant, whether upon application or by amendment to the conditions approved. Requirement for cash in lieu shall apply to the retained parcel as well. I'm gonna get a mover through Rod. Seconder. Wendy. Questions for Charlene on this one?
So this detailed report's been submitted by. See, is he the program for the planning board for the applicant here?
Where are we?
I think it was planning board.
He would be planning board. That's what.
So he's the planner for the plan.
Yes. And there's a recent lake study that was completed for Jack's Lake, which is on file. There's also some, when Pine Haven did their
Yeah.
reconstruction.
Yeah.
Richard was part of that, Mr. Hodge. So there's been some back and forth over the years over proposed development here. And Bob's supportive of what?
I think it's been here before, hasn't it?
No, they've created those other lots that you see there.
It's a right of way. This one's a little different because there's no road deviation. So the conditions just are in relation to cash and lieu.
So what's retained there, the piece that's retained is,
Where the snowmobile trail used to go across. That big, majority of it is wetlands.
it's very wet, you know.
Mhm. All those lots will be under site plan.
Good to see that Dick is a proper gentleman based on what.
Yeah, that was a comment. Bob's.
That's our Bob. Just testing to make sure you're reading it.
Okay, any other questions for Shad on this one? All those in favor? That's carried. Council Township of Armour accept the application for the site plan approval submitted by Pavitar Preet Singh Chawan, Plan M675 Lot 9, fronting onto Millie's Way, and request a municipal planner to proceed with drafting the site plan agreement.
Sure.
Jerry. And Rod. Pretty standard stuff on this one. I drove in there today and I couldn't figure out where the lot was, but I think it was right at the corner of.
Please excuse my ignorance once again. We're just saying, yes, it's okay to build a house?
It's under, Millie's Way is under site plan control.
Oh, so I was like, why do we not do this every time somebody, okay, so that was, thank you so much.
Similar to Lakefront.
Okay,
That's historical, right? Sure, the Millie's Way has always been under site plan control.
Lots 9 through 12, I
There's
think.
certain lots, yeah.
Certain lots on it.
And it's mainly to do with stormwater management and drainage to prevent or to protect Ferguson.
I was like, why is this one here when we don't do this every time? Thank you so much.
Any other questions for Charlene on this one? All those in favor? And that, agreed. Council Township of Armour accept the application for site plan approval submitted by Daniel Bowering and Leslie Katerick, concession 5, part lot 17, municipally as 943 Relative Road, and request municipal planner proceed with drafting the site plan agreement. Mover for this one. Got Wendy and Dorothy.
So is this one because it's on the water?
Demo rebuild.
Demo rebuild. Yeah. Questions for Charlene? Okay, all those in favor? And that one's carried. More development. Council of Township of Armour accept the application for site plan approval submitted by Jeffrey Baker, concession 5, part lot 11, known municipally as 39 Magview Drive, and request municipal planner to proceed with drafting the site plan agreement. And mover on this one, Jerry.
Show me, where is it?
Seconded by Wendy.
So this is Magview and this is Magview and he's right here.
I think this is.
Is this the first property going like on Magview?
It's on, it's
Like on the corner of
Yes.
Katrine Road and Magview?
no, I don't think that it's, they've started the work. You got the road allowance.
If you look at the little
Thank you.
map up here, maybe give them this bigger one, insert the deed. Thank you.
I can see it actually. Okay, it's making total sense to me now, Katrine Road and where it is.
Yes.
Okay.
So this one's a little different. You can see in your agenda package, you have the application right now. And your very next item is the bylaw. So we don't normally do this, but this one, being on the mag. Didn't realize it was under site plan control, had everything ready to go. All those are.
Oh.
Hold on it. Oops. So.
That's why I asked, because I was like, no, but there's something there. So, okay.
So Doug's been working with them just because he would have lost his build within the window, and the contractors have very limited building on time, so.
Yeah.
So this one, yeah, you can see our next item's a site plan agreement. We've already been working on this one.
All right. Okay, we have a mover and a seconder on that resolution for the site plan approval. All those in favor? That's carried.
Great stuff, those big ones.
I cannot figure out how the river touches that property.
It's 25 acres or something, you had to survey there. Big lot, it's 10 acres.
Yeah, it just barely touches it, actually.
But I felt like it was on the other side of the road.
Okay, so this one's related to resolution we just passed. Council of Township of Armour have read and approved bylaw 47 twenty twenty-five being a bylaw to enter into a site plan agreement with Jeffrey Baker with respect to part of lot 11, concession 5 fronting on the Magnetawan River. We authorize the mayor and clerk to sign this bylaw and affix the seal of the corporation there too. Got Jerry. I got Dorothy. We could defeat this just to make your life miserable, sure.
Oh, it's Kayla.
Oh, Kayla would.
And the poor builder.
Yes, I had to walk him off the ledge. Here's figure one, Dorothy.
Okay, thank you.
These are the mag,
Easier, much easier to see.
these are the mags at the top.
Good, Dorothy.
Not gonna say no anyway. I'm just trying to make it make sense. And I can't even see Katrine Road now. I'm thinking maybe this is a different building than the one I'm watching being built.
Maybe.
Are you thinking where this story, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk,
Oh,
where there's like Tent City?
yeah.
I think it's the other chunk on the left-hand side. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
I think you
The way
must
that
be
they're
right, because I'm like, I cannot figure out how the river could connect to that
Yeah.
piece of land. Okay. Okay. Either way, I think it's a fantastic idea. Let's build.
Any other questions? All those in favor? And carried.
Ooh, where's Katrine Road? This is road allowance, but not the actual road. Okay,
Okay, we'll talk.
thank you. I don't understand this part at all. I need to learn.
Okay. And the next bylaw we have is another site plan agreement. Things are developing all over the place. That's good. Council Township of Armour have written approved bylaw 48 twenty twenty-five being a bylaw to enter into a site plan agreement with William Robert Charles Johnstone with respect to lot 24 of Plan 237. Part of road allowance in front of part lot 21 concession 4. Armour part 1042R-7266, known municipally as 868 Skyline Drive on the east shore of 3 Mile Lake. And then we authorize the mayor and clerk to sign this bylaw and affix the seal of the corporation there too. Mover, chair, seconder. Wendy. So this was the one where we extended his trailer on his property for an extra year or two, and now he's building, which is great. Questions for Charlene on this one? All those in favor? And that's carried. That is it for applications and bylaws, and we are into reports. So I'm assuming we will carry on. First up, Tri-Council Informal Subcommittee. And Dave and Wendy, were you guys both at that one?
Yes.
We were, yeah. So there's the minutes. It's an interesting meeting. We talked about a lot of different things, but the focus of the meeting was on getting a draft library agreement in place, and that's I think Dave got charged with drafting that.
Yeah, so the draft is well underway. There's just a couple of comments that Brayton and I are going a bit back and forth on, just with a couple of things that were brought up by some of the members around the table, but progressing fairly well. A lot of the changes have been at least drafted in terms of implemented, and yeah, I think we should be well underway to have a workable draft for our next meeting on the 4th. And hopefully have it in front of Tri-Council.
That's the goal anyway, is for us to have one more meeting as the group and then have it ready for Tri-Council.
Nothing too contentious came up.
We discussed a lot of different things, but there seemed to be basic consensus on what we wanted in the agreement. I don't think there's gonna be any glaring obstacles to get through.
Then we basically have 2 out of the 4 agreements settled if we get through this one, so that's good.
Is there anything in, like Burks Falls seems to want to rent substantially? Is there anything in the agreement address that?
No,
Okay, that's good.
No, that's a budget item. We don't,
Okay.
the only thing the agreement will speak to is when the budgets have to be ready.
But it just,
For a council meeting, they'll go to.
but at a tri-council meeting in the seniors, I remember the 3 municipalities agreeing that the increase would be 3% annually. That was agreed upon by all 3 municipalities.
How long ago was that?
It was August 2023. August 2023.
the first one was 08, wasn't it?
It was what?
08.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when that was. It was, I just remember Brooks Falls wanting to up it and we all agreed it would be 3%.
It was,
I'm not sure how long that 3% is gonna be good for.
so what we,
It was. I don't
Every
think-
5 years thereafter, there's records. Rod showed me all the records on the iteration.
since I've been on council, so they brought to try commercial space amounts. Is that what you're referencing? They talked about how much commercial space was per square foot and then agreed that it would not to exceed 3%.
Could be,
Because they did-
for the sake of this conversation, the idea was just to get an agreement in place for the
Okay.
Union Public Library Board.
I plan to deal with the rent later anyway.
And we'll deal with it through budgets too, right? Where
Yep.
if I'm not agreeing with you.
So just while you're on that, that's, if you remember the conversation, John kept saying, the only way you approve the budget or you don't, the only way you're gonna make anything happen is to tell him we're out of the agreement. Because we had no say in how the money is spent. It went back and going on. All the agreements. We didn't want them to buy the ladder truck, didn't matter. We either passed the budget or we don't. The fact that we didn't want to buy the ladder truck didn't matter with the fire department. We didn't like the way the arena was handling their staff, but we could either pass the budget or not. And John emphasized over and over, the only time you're gonna have any say is if you get out of this agreement. And that's why I wanted to get out of it. I want to have more say in how the money is spent. I know Wendy, well, I don't know how you would do it, but it's been a background pain in the ass that I haven't forgot about. It's been the arena and the fire hall where we didn't want our money spent that way.
The only way you're gonna deal with that any differently, Rod, is you go back to separate committees for each of those shared services.
I'm just saying, so when it comes to me,
Now, we have total control over how the money is spent for the landfill.
and I'm just saying, when it comes time to vote, I'm gonna record and vote because I'm against not having control of how the money's spent. I don't know how you want to do with that. But this agreement was pushed through, and I remember somebody saying, just sign the damn thing and we'll deal with the problems as they arise. The problems arise right away. We did not want them to spend their money in this fashion, but we had no control how to do it. That's what I'm standing behind.
I have an idea that could potentially be presented. Please tell me if it does not work. Could we say that the rent cannot be increased by more than their tax rate increase per year? So if they increase their tax rate by 4% to their ratepayers, they can increase the rent to the library by 4%.
Not in the agreement,
Okay,
not in the library board agreement, because the library board agreement is drafted largely based on the Public Libraries Act.
okay,
So that determines, what the
Fair,
board
fair.
composition and everything looks like. It doesn't determine anything to do with the actual operations of the library itself. So this is just to have an agreement to say Armour, Ryerson and Berks Falls are part of a union library. And we agree to share costs as to your point, Rod. I think with the library is a little bit different because they have a board and we have a rep sitting on that board. So there would be a say. So the library is different than fire and
Yeah.
than fire and arena. But yeah, again, for the purposes of that exercise in that meeting, you can't, we put in a very, in the draft, we put in a very vague communication piece. that it isn't really prescriptive. It just establishes who the key players are and the commitment to timely communications. But even that isn't statutorily really governed. It's just an extra bit to, I guess, alleviate some of the pressures that have come over the last 6 or 8 months.
But ultimately, even though we have a person sitting on the board, the person sitting on the library board can't say, oh, no, we disagree, we're not to this rent increase. The board has no say about the rent increase.
No, the word is separate, whether,
No, the owner of the building has the say on the rent increase.
And that could all change regardless. So one of the biggest pain point we had, we did have some arguments about the operational budget, but the biggest things were on the bigger capital expenditures. So now we're separating the operational from the capital. And this is just about the operational piece. If we don't agree, so we went down this rabbit hole a little bit in a separate meeting this week, David and I, where there was a question about ACE and their hiring. And our stance was, we administer ACE, we'll do the hiring. It's no different than if the arena manager hires somebody, if we want to stick our nose into it, if we want to get into that game, then we might as well just forget all the agreements. And because we're going to be fighting about who's managing the arena, who's managing the landfill, and who's managing the library. So I think we kind of got to find a balance where let's leave the administration up to one body, let them worry about it, because otherwise we'll never get anybody hired. Because we'll be arguing about, no, I don't like this guy,
I agree, but when it goes to the library, one person has a vested interest in the amount of rent.
Right, and I'd question why rent's being charged at all. So, but again, that's an argument for another day, and that becomes part of, if there's a new capital building.
Then it can be managed
all
there.
bets are off.
But in the event that there is no capital and we're dealing with this building with a 35% rent increase for next year.
we won't be.
Well, their option, I mean, the person who has the building could be trying to force somebody out. They may have another use for that building, so they may be trying to force them out. And then we've got another issue to deal with. We've got to find them another place.
Or two municipalities say, no, we don't agree with the rent.
Right.
Screw yourself.
Which actually, there is a process involved, and I think it is 2 out of 3, if I recall correctly from the original agreements. But there's a process in place to deal with those sorts of disputes.
It's wonderful that the discussion went really well last week.
Just so back on the library, was any thought given to inviting McCormick Monteith again?
Yes, that was-
Yes. So the way I've drafted the agreement so far is to cover the current partners that we have. So all of the in terms of the shares that would be charged back and everything, I've created it for the 3. I think throughout the process, we have to create it for what we have right now. And the idea there is once we get close to that, then we can bring someone in and amend that agreement. I think if we went out to this will be up to the subcommittee on the 4th, whether we want to go out prior to passing the agreement or because I think if we go out prior to passing the agreement and there's some back and forth on percentages and council meetings and what have you, that could delay it could delay the passing of the library agreement. I would rather have an agreement in place and amend it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to protect the library staff that we have there by making sure we get agreement in place
Okay.
sooner rather than.
But yeah, there was discussion. And
Discussed, yes.
yeah, there was some potential contribution rates that may be proposed.
Yeah.
I
think we have to make sure that the partners that are involved now are open to that. Because it hasn't been expanded, it's just been our small subgroup that have been discussing it.
And I would say just for anybody listening now or later, that it wasn't just a rate that was discussed, it was service levels that were discussed as well. So there's, it's definitely part of the discussion.
Can we make provision in this agreement for the introduction of new partner, like just a process, even a 1 paragraph?
I can look into that for sure.
Just generic, so we kind of cover ourselves.
And rather than Burkes Falls an area library, could we just call it BFAR?
Before, and
I want my kid to say I'm going to the BFAR. I'm like, have fun, bud.
Yeah.
You are Burke's Fires in Armour Falls.
Wendy remembers that one. Any other questions for Dave or Wendy on that one? Next up is ACE, request for support in principle, the signage plan application. We have a resolution for this one. I'll read the resolution and then we can have discussion. Whereas the Township of Armour has adopted and supported the implementation of the 2018 Omeguin Highlands Regional Economic Development Strategic Plan and the 2021 Omeguin Brand Strategy, which call for the establishment of a unified regional brand. And whereas the Township of Armour recognizes the importance of aligning physical and digital elements within the collective brand strategy throughout the Omeguin Highlands region, as well as the efforts of the ACE to implement the brand strategy. And whereas the ACE brand alignment and regional signage project will enhance the use of the regional brand while promoting recreation, tourism, and business activity throughout the region. And whereas the ACE members' contribution to the project shall be funded through the ACE reserve. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of Township of Armour hereby declare their support in principle for the ACE brand alignment and regional signage project, as well as associated applications for financial assistance to complete the project. Moved by Wendy. Seconder Jerry. Questions for Dave on this one? Basically, this is funded already.
Well,
Because through the,
we're applying for
Reserves.
funding.
Okay.
But yes, we're not asking for contributions if we are successful in getting federal and provincial funding to support the project and the project will move forward. If we are not, then we'll ask it for another year, but the signage plan's been done. Long story short, once, if we are approved and everything is moving forward, we will then begin consultation like late fall and winter with municipal representatives to determine what goes on which sign. A lot of the municipal community signage, the MCS signage, is just a glyph or an icon and sometimes a name underneath with an arrow associated with it. It's not like ours where you have, Richard Thomas Memorial Park, 2 kilometers that away, with all the glyphs for what you can do there. This would just be one glyph and, Clear Lake Beach or something along those lines. So it's unfortunate because you can have a maximum of 2 per sign. So what we're using them for is hopefully getting them to get them off the main MTO corridors onto municipal roads. So we can have the big expanded signs like what we see in our neighborhood. So what's nice is that even the signs in Armour we will have MTO signage pointing people towards those wayfinding signs. Just where we might have 7 placards on there now, it would have 2 to get started and then you get in and see all the rest of it. Yeah. So our wayfinding signage is broken because because of provincial regulations, but this should be a stopgap, I guess, or to stand in the gap.
what's the timing on this?
Well, we typically, the former RED funding, Rural Economic Development, would come out in February. We were hoping to get it done this year. They just announced it and the first intake closed in September. So we'll get all the paperwork done in 2025 and roll it out in 2026.
It's a pretty big job to figure out what every municipality needs.
Yeah.
And where the signs are gonna be located, and it's a big job. I remember the last go around those.
Questions for Dave or Wendy?
You briefly mentioned the hire for ACE. How is that going?
Great. She started, today. Today was her first day.
Wow, 2 weeks ago, we were like, we're just hoping to get a new septic. Wonderful.
She's no good at septic systems.
Yeah.
At least they
But I know of it.
problems then.
Check that.
Yeah.
May I ask who it is then if they've started?
Yes, her name is Megan Yam.
Is she local?
Katrine.
Your neighbor.
Do I know her? Did you ask her if I know her?
Okay, go Dorothy.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Just more loud than a big deal, but
Other questions? All those in favor? And that is carried. Next up is my report. We've got our every 6-month progress report. And there's been, as there always seems to be, a lot of activity.
I was just gonna say it proves what we've been doing, really. Well done.
It's always interesting when we go back
Yeah.
because you actually forget a lot of this stuff. And you just, one thing blends into the next and then
Yeah.
you forget. But I think this is important. And I jumped the gun because I was at the 3 Mile Lake last meeting and I gave them a little bit of a sneak preview of this before it came to council, but I just talked to it. And again, they were pretty impressed with the amount of work that staff does here and what we've been able to push along. So.
There's a, so sorry. There's a video of the Prime Minister of New Zealand, I think, reaming off everything she had done in like 2 years or something. And I feel like we need you at the end of the 4 years to just like sit down with all of these and just name them. I think she tries to do it all in 60 seconds or something.
Well, at the end of 4 years, you put the puzzle together, okay?
We post this, do we not? This goes on our
Yes,
website.
it'll go on the website. I think when you look at the focus here, so the value for constituents, I think we've really come a long way. And that, I mean, that's a testament to it's bylaw, rec staff, building staff, emergency management, the roads department, it's everybody. And the fact that we're working with so many other municipalities, it's huge, a lot of cooperation there. And I think people, they appreciate that because they kind of look at, I got questioned at the 3 Mile Lake meeting. The one guy was fairly new to the area, says, is Burkes Falls really a separate municipality? They just don't get it. So, yeah, there's 12 municipalities, we're all about the same size. So he was glad to hear that we were at least working together. I'd like to make more progress on the second one, which is the protection of natural assets, but that's a tough one. That's a tough haul, and it's not something that we're seeing a few things that we can maybe leverage.
I had a chat with Dave Creaser last week and he was going on about, further off Garage Road, our property with the pit. I guess he was back, I think this one.
Yeah.
He was back in here and he says that this area with the pit and access to Jack's Lake is absolutely amazing. So if you were looking
right?
at trails or anything, I think we need to,
Some kind of trail system.
because
Did you say off Garage Road or Eli?
oh, sorry, where am I? Not Jack, we're here, Pike.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I would be Jack, like, yeah.
Yeah, so this one, and this is the one where it's all owned by the M&R all the way around.
Yeah, that's in behind 3 Mile, that one, right? Sort
Yeah,
of.
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's.
That'd be a great idea.
So
Walking trails.
we still have extraction going
Yeah,
on. in our
on biking.
there.
I don't know, this is, I think, a good time for us.
Oh, for you guys.
Item number
Right.
2,
Yeah,
with trails and parks. We've had conversations or people approaching about dog parks and everything else too, right? I think you've got, that's a
great.
large mass of land with the aggregate there.
Yeah. Well, I'll look at that for sure.
But I think if we were to set something up with Dave, with the road super, with the access.
Okay, you can bring his bulldozer in and make trails. Cool.
It's funny that you said that, because I was just looking at that one with the new trails and ironically Dave was just talking about it. What?
It's great. Okay, I shall follow up on that one. Cooperation and shared services, kind of related to the first one, but again, lots going on. New fire hall agreement, hopefully a new library agreement soon. Fire hall being built. What's going on there? Health and wellness continues to move forward, but has stops and starts as well. Hope to see some action on that, on the build of our wellness center in the next quarter or so. And economic development, lots going on there too,
In the next quarter, or
in
wellness?
terms of discussions around.
Oh, okay, I was like. You're gonna be working very hard. Yeah.
Dave and I think we're at the next Perry Sound District meeting for an update on the housing task force. So Dave's gonna be working on an updated report for that too. That's under the housing and growth. So lots going on and appreciate everyone's efforts and focus on this. And certainly the staff has just done an unbelievable job of being able to kind of focus back on this and keep it rolling. As I say, there's stuff that happens and you don't even realize how much stuff is getting done behind the
well,
scenes.
I really appreciate this report because it makes you sort of channel everything and a nice, easy format of looking to see what the progress.
And eliminate some of the bad stuff.
Yes.
Like it's not all,
Just don't talk about it.
we don't mention the word best once in that report.
I think, based on conversations, Rob and I have had over the last couple of weeks, the last month or so, is that this report will largely, I think, be the basis for guiding some of the questions for the survey that's coming out. That'll go towards the development and turning this into a full-fledged strategic plan that has departmental reflections from our staff and where they see departments going. So I think this is a great starting point, and the fact that it's already been up on our website and any interested ratepayers or interested parties can go and look at it is a good segue to getting us towards that strategic plan phase. So
Yeah. And when the survey goes out, we can point people back to it and, in case you didn't know, this is what we've been working on. So,
and that's the information, the background information, in case people are looking and want to dig in deeper for some of the context on what's actually been going on, they can see that.
Maybe you could bullet point some of the questions already and give them the answers.
Some of the questions for
Well, take for instance, some of the people out there may have questions, but you can also give them the answers.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, quick reference.
Yeah, quick record.
Just on a note about the website, I fielded a few calls during the extreme high water on Pickle Lake. And one was, they were criticizing the township for not making statements on, the activities and what was going on. And I said, well, like 3 or 4 statements have been made. I don't know whether they weren't on social media at all, but they were not checking the website. So I directed them to the website and then they called back and said, thank you. I realized that was a silly thing to say because obviously it's dated. This is when it was done. So
Yeah.
they weren't checking that.
They weren't
for whatever
checking it.
reason. Or they were checking and I don't know how they weren't seeing it. I mean, public notice was pretty upfront and center there, but
We're updating that daily, if not twice a day.
yeah, exactly. And but for whatever reason, they had missed it. But
And
people,
we had stuff on Facebook too, right?
yes,
It was
yeah,
getting pushed. to
it was all getting pushed. Yeah,
It's the ongoing challenge. Communications is so difficult.
it is. Yeah.
Everybody's,
The time for staff, it was so hectic at that moment with the,
Yeah.
issues that were going on. But, there's still the option of maybe looking at another social media platform.
Yeah.
Maybe.
yeah, and it brings up a good point, Wendy, because, should I have been out there more, or should I put together some kind of public service thing, or I don't know, there may be other things that we can do that.
I think with the fact that the vast majority of, yes, the repairs and everything are still ongoing, but I think the fact that most of the roads were reopened and passable by the end of day on Monday when it happened, it didn't leave a whole pile of, and you were, to your credit as well, you were out cruising around, getting an eye on things and understanding what was going on. So there wasn't a whole pile of time to.
No, I was getting very positive feedback about how quickly Armour reacted. This was just, they thought the communication piece could have been better. They were very pleased with the reaction of staff in the roads department and whatnot. And it was more around the issue with the use of the lake and people, being respectful of wakes, and then, so that seemed to be but people were wound up because their stuff was floating everywhere.
It's floating away. Yeah.
I wonder if you could do like a daily YouTube video, what's up Armour?
Yeah, that's what we.
And we could just post it daily, like, and if there's nothing you can
We
say,
have a celebrity that's very good at that.
we have a quiet day in Armour.
What, you could buy a drone and have the drone take footage of Armour Township and I'll just talk in the background.
Actually, Hamilton already did the flood at Thompson's Rapids, and it was awesome. They put on Facebook.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
People look for his video.
Hamilton,
Yes, he did.
yeah, it was really good. Like,
Well, maybe you guys could co-host it.
I have some concerns about some of his posts, but
well,
Recently.
yeah,
it was really nice what he did with the flood water behind,
yeah.
and he talked about that and the rocks. Stay away from there. Like,
Well, maybe Tammy can be your co-host. We don't have to answer it all right now, but I would like a daily YouTube update on Armour Township.
Working on it. We'll set up a studio with that.
The Lady of Armor.
Yes, First Lady of Armour.
Message from the First Lady. Anyway, I appreciate the fact that our council is, I mean, 99% of the time on the same page and working in the same direction. And that's why we can do this. So we kind of set the direction. Staff believes in it and does the hard work and gets stuff done. And every time I talk to a staff, everybody's positive and kind of working in the same direction. So I think we could almost give ourselves a pat on the back because just excellent work again.
It's amazing staff, but sure.
Next up, the Muskoka Algonquin Healthcare quarterly political leaders report, so you could see the notes there. I just made sure that I made mention in that meeting that I appreciated that we were now the Muskoka Algonquin Ontario Health Team. So in case anybody haven't heard of that meeting. Next up is library board meeting of July 16th.
I was unable to make it. I'm not 100% sure if they had a meeting or not. It was, I was getting a sense that there wasn't gonna be a quorum. I haven't talked to any of us, so I don't know.
I think Nevis, if you're listening, Nevis, I'm not sure if there was a meeting on July 16th. She may be, oh, there she comes. Hello,
Good evening.
how are you?
Yes, there was a meeting, and it was a brief and very few items to discuss. Mainly, what we had was a few the new co-op student that we have at the library, and a couple of items. With Village Brooks Falls, their representative still have two counselors on our board and our committee. So we are trying to resolve that somehow. But the decision was to just see how it plays out till the end of the year. And then good news that they have found merit in splitting a bill that was charged to the library for the water usage. And now it is divided by the seniors and the library. So it's not all on the library board.
Oh, okay, that's good.
But other than that, it was a very, very straightforward, very positive, just the same as what I'm sensing from our Armour Council and Armour staff. I absolutely agree with you, Rod. It is a pleasure to work with Armour Township in all aspects. So yes, I don't know if there are any questions or any curiosity, but we are waiting to hear from Dave and see how he is doing with the agreement and see if we can get somewhere before December 31st.
Just a clarification, I'm sorry. You said you have two Berks Falls council reps on your board, is that, or did I misread that?
So yes, so the library board, you all know it's 2 citizens to 1 councillor from each municipality.
Right.
Now the councillor for the Village of Berks Falls has had a hard time making it to the meetings. So I requested to consider an alternate, and so that there is always representation for the Village of Berks Falls. So that was agreed, and someone, another councillor, was appointed to be the alternate councillor. Now that the councillor who became the alternate was also appointed to the building fundraising committee. So there is a bit of a conflict because and to me, I mean, doesn't really matter as long as the work gets done. But I think that if the other 2 municipalities may raise a conflict that since they have more representation than the other two municipalities,
Okay,
especially moving forward with very important agreements happening amongst the three municipalities.
thank you for that clarification.
And if you hadn't heard it earlier, Navis, the library agreement is in the works. Dave is
Mhm.
getting close to having a draft ready, so we're, at this point, seem to be in pretty good shape.
Beautiful. It's good to hear. Thank you.
Okay, next is the Ag Society meeting of July 17th. I'm not sure, Rob, if there was a meeting for that.
I did attend that. It was just clarifying who's doing what for the fair. Because it was actually a shorter meeting than normal. It was just very general. Quick question though, did Armour send their money to the Agricultural Society? The donation for the fall fair?
I can follow.
I was supposed to phone in and ask about it. I don't think they had. Which is odd, but
We did a resolution, right? Or did we just?
$3,000,
Or
I
did we
thought.
just send it?
I think we just send it. It's in the budget.
Maybe it just.
That's for the fair or the bouncies, Rod?
No, just for the Agricultural Society, for the Labor Day weekend or their fall fair.
I'll have that answer for you tomorrow, sir.
Okay.
What dates are the fair, Rod?
Pardon me?
You know what date? The fair?
August 29th, 30th, and
Whatever the Labor Day is, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's early.
I think you're right. It runs into August and.
Monday is the first.
Monday.
Was it like a 3-day event or something?
There's, as far as 3 goes, I don't know, but there's horse shows going on, horse competitions going on Sunday. Fair day is, to me, is Monday.
There's still talk about this fallen riders motorcycle thing the same weekend.
Apparently.
And I hear they want to do it on the main street and they want to have a beer garden and so I'm not sure how that's all gonna come together and how that's gonna work with horses and animals, but.
But it shouldn't bother us, as long as, because Burks Falls, like, people can, now, having said that, Danica, somebody with a 6-horse trailer, are they gonna go up Houston Street and down Queen Street? There's the problem.
Yeah.
The beer garden, I find Burks Falls don't want to have a campground anymore at the racetrack because of a liability insurance, and yet they're gonna have a beer garden?
That was,
I do think the organizer takes care of all of the insurance.
I just mean the Burks Falls is still liable.
Yes.
They're having it at the fair.
They don't want to have a campsite
Just
because of liability.
I don't know where it's going. I just
Okay,
came up with their
no,
council meeting last
Yeah.
week, so.
I believe it's still going forward for the last time I listened to them.
All right, questions for Rod on the Ag Society? And Historical Society, July 21st.
So I will bring the minutes to the next council meeting, but just a quick update, last night's meeting. Diane and Jerry were able to connect with someone from the Amish community. For the barn and taking it down.
Actually, Diane was.
Okay, that part of it being the chair.
Well, I was at the region where the oven ad was.
And I did all.
I seen him, so.
So anyways, the guy is going back to the Amish community sometime in the next week or whatever. He said that he is interested in taking the barn down. Di said that there were specific things that needed to be kept, that they didn't want to lose or whatever, but he's gonna report back to Diane. So once the Historical Society has that information, then they'll bring it forward to Armour to determine when to move forward with it. But that was pretty quick. I was pretty impressed that I made that
Yeah.
contact and it was just a fluke, right? That.
He was at the fish and chip night serving and he had the hat on.
Yep.
That, apparently, I believe he was going to Petawawa or Pembroke. I'm not sure which one of them. I think it was Petawawa.
It's-
So, but he will be in contact with them.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna get a hold of Diane and set up a date, come down and have a look at it.
But what's the chances of that, eh?
Mhm.
So they're from Emsdale, but the community that he works in is
It's
Powassan.
Boston, that's
Yeah, okay,
correct,
okay.
yeah. But they're interested, so we'll go from there,
Oh, for sure.
be able to save a lot of material, so.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to repurpose that material and build something better.
Yeah.
Down the road maybe,
Good.
to give the red building something to do,
On the note of the,
store wood.
on the note of the red building, I know Doug's gone, but tip of the hat to Doug. He's led the way. As you know, we've been having some issues finding some plumbers, so I found a plumber, and Doug's been working with them, our staff, and the contractor. And we've got a wall opened up right now, and work is to commence over the next 2 days. And the quote came in less than what I expected, so that was a very big,
That's good.
very big bonus. We're not at the finish line yet, but we're certainly farther ahead than we've been able to get over the last 3 or 4 months. So hopefully we'll get that signed off and we can move on with the next step.
Think you're gonna meet the deadline?
Deadline the end of August.
Okay.
I've been in contact.
Yeah, okay.
I've been in
So
contact.
they're okay,
There's no issues.
that's good.
Thanks, Short. Anything else on that one? Any other reports?
I attended the educational vessel meeting,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Birksville seniors. I was just kind of interested in what it was all about. There was about 20 of us there. This is very, very early stages for this project. There's a nonprofit group that's been set up that is basically just trying to promote and educate people on the importance of the Magnetawan River, the importance of water in general, and keeping it clean, being respectful of it. The boat itself is an old Coast Guard vessel, and it's been bought by 2 individuals. And then this nonprofit group is hoping to get some volunteers, possibly get some funding, and set up an education program. The boat can only get from here to the
Bridge.
to the bridge. It's too tall to get under and get all the way to Magnetawan. Ideally, that would be wonderful, but they're in the process of investigating what funding might be available to them. They've been to Berks Falls Council and have support to dock the vessel in Berks Falls. I'm not sure we're going to see a boat this year, but as I said, it's very early stages. but it's
Interesting idea.
interesting. Yep. Yeah.
Do Viking cruises up to Magnetawan.
Yeah.
Was it Called in Love? Is that the person that's doing it? Yeah, they're doing incredible things with the school as well to have the students over to plant trees lots of awesome things in the community.
Thanks, Wendy. Any other reports
I had another wonderful golf tournament.
coming up?
No, well, I got a bunch more coming up.
Oh.
I just attended another one, my 3rd one. After the first day, I was first place. And after the second day, I was tied for 8th, so.
Dropped off?
Good.
Dropped
I'm
off.
Really doing well. So pretty happy,
That's good.
getting ready to go to Kamloops, so.
A person has, this is not a report, but if I may, a person has reached out to me a few times on social media and then recognized me at the dump the other day and is concerned about the lack of signage on the river. I think they live close to the marina and they were hoping at very least to get a sign in, which makes total sense to me, in at the marina to say the speed limit. Like, I think we put some up last year. He said he's yet to see any of them. I said, I'm certain Bylaw put them up. But if we could maybe arrange to have one by the marina and maybe one at the bridge. I heard some kids were jumping off the bridge last week and I said, hey, I think there's a sign there. And the child, who might be my own, said, oh, I didn't see it. I was like, okay, well, don't jump off the bridge. But maybe we also need to have a sign there to say the speed limit on the river. I spoke to a person as they were on the river and they felt that as long as they weren't near a dock, they could go super fast. So we need to educate. And so when I was speaking to the person at the landfill, I said, unfortunately, if we put it in with tax notices or whatnot, the Airbnb guests still would not be aware that of those things, right? So maybe if at different launch places where you're putting the boat in, you recognize that it is a different, like 30 meters from center or whatnot.
30 meters from shore, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that is part of the boating license, so that it, like, if you are allowed to be on that vessel, you probably should have this information, but regardless, if we can put it at entry points, then hopefully people realize
I'll
that.
speak to bylaw. I know we had it, it was through a different lake association from South Muskoka. We had to buy them.
Mhm.
The issue was we have to arrange for somebody to go pick them up as well. Because they're heavy and they won't ship them.
Oh, I thought they were already installed.
Yeah, but if we were to get more.
Oh, sorry, okay, thank you, okay.
And we did run something on social media and on our website last year. When it was an issue, I've just made a note, I'll get it up there again before the end of the week. I think it's a good idea.
With the water up, I was like on my dock and the person was being extremely respectful. But I was like, whoa, 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 like you're about to run over a tree. Cause you can't, the water was just up high enough that it was just.
It's a lot of.
Yeah, yeah. So, and if you're not aware of it, the people flying on a Sea-Doo, oh, I can't even imagine hitting. Anyway.
Okay. Thanks for that. And sure, thanks for following up.
Has the sediment settled in Pickerel?
Pardon?
Has the sediment settled in Pickerel?
Water is still very high. I mean, it's gone down, but it went up over 6 feet, so it's probably down maybe half of that at this point, but
We were in a few weekends back. It was pretty murky, like it was.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Graham was scheduled to do the first round of testing on the Monday of the storm, so he postponed it. But he's just waiting to get the results. He did the testing 1 week later. I anticipate those results will not be good,
It's not gonna be good.
but it'll be good to have a benchmark to just see what
I swam in it the Saturday after and I don't glow in the dark, so.
It's the itch.
I was in it once helping with the dogs and then was sorry I had
That'd be the spring.
offered to help with the dogs because I reacted quite severely to it, so. But I can react to it in a normal summer day.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Maybe on the bridge, we can just put up a sign, watch out for bloodsuckers. And then we won't do.
No, the kids would be like, I've been in like 14 times. There's none.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. What time we got? Till 9 o'clock. And the last part should be pretty quick. Correspondence and new business. Okay, we are back. We're gonna go through some correspondence. I think we have two resolutions related to correspondence. The first is for the Norwich program. I'll read through while you guys are finishing our snacks. Whereas the Northern Ontario Resource Development Support pilot program was introduced to help Northern Ontario municipalities address infrastructure pressures resulting from natural resource sector activities. And whereas the funding provided through the Nords pilot was very well received by the municipal sector, as it delivered timely and much needed financial support to many communities across the north. And whereas the program has allowed municipalities such as the city of North Bay to strategically stack multi-year allocations in order to support large-scale infrastructure initiatives. And whereas the North's pilot program has clearly demonstrated its value and effectiveness in helping northern municipalities address the infrastructure challenges tied to resource development. And whereas rural and northern municipalities are also facing infrastructure degradation resulting from the increasing size and frequency of agricultural machinery and activity, which is currently outside the scope of the pilot. Therefore, be it resolved, the Council Township of Armour strongly urges the Government of Ontario to make the Northern Ontario Resource Development Support Program a permanent fixture of its support to northern municipalities. Further, that the province consider expanding program eligibility to recognize the significant impact that agriculture equipment and operations have on municipal infrastructure. And further, that municipalities be encouraged to continue utilizing the ability to stack NORD's allocations over multiple years to support planning. Rumor.
Sure.
Right. Seconder. Wendy.
I'm Dorothy, but
Sorry.
The other.
The sugar's kicking in.
he's like, Wendy is on the board tonight.
All those in favor? It's carried. This one's from Phonum. This is the one with the typo that you saw, Dorothy.
Yes.
Council of the Township of Armour supports Phonum in urging both the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario to make the resolution of the softwood lumber dispute a top priority in ongoing bilateral trade discussions with the US. Work directly with forestry stakeholders and municipalities to develop and implement support measures that protect workers, communities, and local economies. Publicly acknowledge the urgency of this issue for rural and northern Ontario and commit to coordinated and concrete actions to support the forest sector. Dorothy. Seconder Wendy,
I wonder if this is being discussed at Deerhurst right now.
could be.
I hope they fix the original one.
Or maybe the Honorable Mark Paul Carney won't notice.
To his frenzies, Paul.
They know something we don't know.
All those in favor? And that's carried. The rest is correspondence, no more resolutions. See if there's anything of interest here.
Mosquitoes are the #1 killer out of anything in the world. That was at a trivia night last week that I highly recommend people go to next month.
They're the #1.
Killer. Out of all the species in the world,
Sorry.
mosquitoes kill more people.
And yet if you wiped out the mosquitoes, you'd wipe out a lot of nature.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Is anyone interested in going to AMO this year? Since there's a few things from AMO here.
Sorry, Ken.
I'll see. I wouldn't mind. It wasn't too bad last year, but I'm not a big conference goer.
There's one in Ottawa that looks good. Is that AMO?
Yeah.
It's in August, right?
Yeah.
You went last year?
Yeah. A Megwin Summer Star Party. Kind of cool.
I saw that too. I actually went and checked out the website. Looks like there's a lot going on, a lot of coupons and actually commended Courtney on this. A lot of work in it.
Check that out.
It looks awesome. Yeah.
Years ago, I used to do that with the kids, lay out on the stoop for the clothesline. Just lay up and look at the stars.
Yeah. Well, Bob McPhail apparently used to have something really quite an elaborate setup in his backyard,
Yeah.
a telescope and everything up on a perch. And
Yeah.
There was a person on the road where we just changed the bylaw that he was in National Geographic. He's got incredible
was that right?
stargazing. Yeah, Todd. Yes, yeah.
Now get Tim's Corridor's got all that stuff. And one of them great big units. You can zero right in and
Is that right?
and oh yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I can't even get my satellite dish lined up. Okay, Thursday, July 31st, we have the fire unit, 7 PM for those going over at Old Government Road, Perry Township. And I think that's about it.
Can we bring kids to this? I'm just seeing the time now. Can kids go to that or no?
I think the invitation is just for council.
Okay.
Let me look here.
It says, please share with your council members.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they- Yeah.
That'd be council.
So it's just.
And there's an invitation to the 2025 Northeastern Municipal Council Workshop. Actually,
That might be interesting.
yeah. Sudbury.
Zilda.
Oh, if you are interested,
Mhm.
send me an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check my.
Hunting season.
Oh,
Come out.
yeah. Unless you're hunting up there.
Yeah.
Last item is tri-council request for agenda items. So we're hosting this one, right?
Yes, and I am off that week. So I'll be missing the Monday tri-council and the Tuesday council.
Tuesday.
They'll be doing them. It's the week that I'll be prepping load to get ready for Labor Day.
Up to school.
Yeah, I'll check out, I haven't received notification as to. Apparently, when it comes to moving into residence, you're given a date with a specific time slot.
Yeah.
And depending on when that is, I might be able to make the meetings.
That's okay. You'll be busy that week.
I'll figure it out.
You'll be weeping.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can zoom in for me. You'll be busy spending money that week.
No doubt. So I have written down, for just to kind of move the conversation along, the, tri-council informal subcommittee meetings as an agenda item. Right?
Yep.
So had that, and then the update on the new fire hall project, update on the new library project. Do we need those? Yes, no?
Fire for sure.
Fire for sure, the library build project, I think we've discussed both at the with the building and fundraising committee of the library board, as well as the subcommittee, that the discussions with the build, I don't think should move forward until we have a project specific agreement in place.
Okay, so that will be addressed during your delegation with the trike.
Yeah, either myself or another representative of the subcommittee.
Okay, and then the other item was, and Amy wasn't sure because she doesn't normally attend these this meeting, is an update on the circular materials change notice. So we did receive a resolution yesterday. It'll be a next agenda package from Berks Falls supporting Amy moving forward with the negotiations with circular material. But I don't know if you want that addressed in August or just leave it. I don't know if she'll have an update then or whether she'll just be providing a written report. But if you want that on the agenda, then I imagine we would want her there to speak to it as well.
Just tentative.
Just
Yeah. Because our next meeting after that's November, right?
October, the end of October, the last Monday.
All this stuff's gonna take effect January 1st. So there may be interest. The November or the October meeting might be better.
Okay, she'll be happy with that. So we have your tri-committee. Yeah, your informal committee and then the fire hall is the two agenda items. Is there anything else that you guys want on there?
Depends on how contentious we wanna be. I can't think of anything else, actually.
You want to be on Dave?
I can write and talk at the same time, and none of it will make any sense, but I can do it.
Yeah,
I have put an email out to the other clerks to see if there's anything that any of the other councils want to add to it. It's just standard what we do.
Where are we holding it?
The KCC, we've already reserved it.
You briefly mentioned Heritage Day being a regional thing. Is that something we would want to propose just to our tri people at this point in time?
good. But, I mean, it's not something we've flushed out or discussed very much as a counselor, so. But
I'd wait for the next election.
wait till the next day.
That sounds great.
I think that would be a little mature at this.
Okay.
Have we got, you've got the subcommittee for tri-services, but have we got the library agreement on there?
No, I don't. I just have the new, or an update on the new.
You should have a library
We
agreement.
should have the library agreement because we hope to have a draft agreement that the subcommittee can say.
My expectation is whatever goes to the subcommittee on the 4th, if there's major changes or improvements similar to what happened with the fire agreement.
Yeah,
Then we can meet again, schedule another meeting, try to get it into, and hopefully get it in front of each council prior to, but
yeah.
it should be doable.
As you want it as a library agreement as a draft?
I think the goal is to have it ready to pass.
So is your intent for it to be passed at that council meeting, at that meeting?
That's the BHAG.
Yeah, I think.
Very audacious goal.
If this is our meeting, we could prepare resolutions for each of the.
Yeah, we can have it already.
Yeah.
Done that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which reminds me, did Birch Falls pass the fire hall spend?
Yes, that is, we'll be going to the next meeting as well. Here,
Oh, they did?
yes.
I didn't see it on their agenda, so I didn't.
Yes, it was there. I received all those resolutions that yesterday,
Okay,
all the ones that they passed.
good. All right, anything else? I thought it was gonna be a long meeting, but we're getting out relatively early. Council Township of Armour adjourns this regular council meeting at 9:15.
Yep.
Council meeting scheduled for August 12th, or to call the mayor or the clerk. That was you, Jerry?
Yep.
Seconder.
Sure.
All those in favor of leaving? Carries.
Can I take a picture of that?
Yeah.
Did anybody object?
No,
Take a picture of what?
It goes on
The
YouTube.
screen.
Sure.
Okay, I just,
You smile.
yeah. you can do whatever you want.
It's our new council photo.
There, thank you.
We got that recorded too, so. I'm not editing it down. It had like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Green picture for
Yeah, we're done.
the mayor's YouTube video.